Howdy, Pisces. Welcome to your October 2015 General Tarotscope. So, for the first few weeks of the month, you have the sun in the sector of other people's money. So, it's the eighth house, right? And the eighth house is a place where you might be dealing with some kind of inheritances, or if you are married, your spouse has some kind of situation. Maybe he gets a raise and you have to deal with, or you have to deal with some other kind of, maybe you have stocks that you're taking care of. But the focus is on the house that deals with sex and death and other mysteries of life, the occult. This is actually Scorpio's house. And interestingly, the sun goes into Scorpio on the 23rd of the month. And then the focus is on your ninth house, which is the house of higher learning and of philosophy, organized religion, and foreigners, foreign travel, and this sort of thing. So I think that October for you is kind of a very deep month as opposed to the lighter aspects of, the fifth house and maybe that sort of thing. The new moon in Libra is on the 12th of the month, and this is going to be in that eighth house. So, new developments in money that you don't earn directly, whether it's passive income from stocks or your partner's. Some of you might be in the midst of a court case regarding an inheritance, and you might hear word on this date that something has progressed. Venus has been in your health sector, and this continues for the first week in October and is really good for anything related to diet and exercise, making yourself into a more attractive person through the use of foods that are good for you, especially natural foods. But then on the 8th, it goes into the 7th house, and this is your relationship sector. And what is really nice is that you have Jupiter here for a whole year. So this means that those of you who are married, you might see that your relationship is strengthened. And there's an expansive quality with Jupiter residing in the 7th house for a year. So it's possible that some of you who have had long-term relationships will decide to tie the knot or move in together, buy a house together. For other people, it might relate to their business life and they form a partnership or a series of partnerships, especially if you have clients that you form deep connections with. This placement with Venus there can really help to make you appealing to potential clients as well as expand the number of clients you have through Jupiter being in that house. At the top of your chart, the house of career. Saturn is at home in the 10th house. This is Saturn's natural home. So this is a very auspicious time for you career-wise. Some of you will find that you are feeling as if this is an opportunity for you to be taken more seriously in terms of how everyone sees you. For other people, this is just a way to gain status in your career for the next 2.5 years. I'm kind of all over the map here because I did want to say that Mercury is going direct on the 9th of the month, and this is at 0 degrees of Libra, which again is in that 8th house. So I do feel that some of you will be hearing some news related to other people's money. And this would be more relevant to those people who are already embroiled in something legal that relates to property matters of an ex-spouse or family, that sort of thing, money that you felt that you are owed by some kind of will. And this is the time for me to remind you that this is a general reading and not everything that I talk about will be appropriate for you. If you want a personalized reading that takes into account your exact birth date and time of birth, please click on the link below. And I have different services. I'm promoting particular ones this month just because, I can't put everything, in the description box. But in any case, I hope that this general reading at least partially resonates with you. We do have a full moon in Taurus on the 27th of the month at 3 degrees, and this falls in your third house of communications. So, this is really a good time for any kind of project that you would like to initiate that involves the internet or involves some sort of communication, whether it's starting a novel or finishing a novel. I will say that some of you may learn some news from or about a sibling. You might find a secret is uncovered online that is connected to you in some way. Now, the cards I picked for you were very interesting. The first card relates to your current state of mind, and it was the Seven of Swords. And this is a very sneaky kind of card. This could indicate that somebody has betrayed you. And this could also mean that you are on the down low in some regard. It could be at work. Maybe you're thinking of leaving your place of employment and you are interviewing at other places, but you're not letting anybody at your current place know about it. And, it doesn't necessarily bode negatively. This card could be that you have to keep things, under the vest or however you say that. But the advice from the universe is the Three of Cups. So even if, it's very interesting to me because the Three of Cups is an uber positive card. So maybe if there was some kind of betrayal, there's also something to celebrate. And that seems to be very true about life in general, doesn't it? That it kind of veers back and forth, from triumph to tragedy and then back again. And so maybe if you've been focusing on what somebody else did to you, this card is saying, focus on the beautiful things that you have and to celebrate them with friends. And maybe there's some kind of a project, something that you've completed that, involves other people, and you just feel the desire to kind of come together in celebration. And the two advice cards, and again, I'm getting these cups cards, which isn't surprising since you're a water sign and the cups relate to water. I got the Ace of Cups reversed and the Ace of Pentacles reversed. Now, notice that aces are both beginnings and they're both reversed. So, whatever it is that might be at the beginning stages, it's just not quite there yet. And so, if there is some reason that you want to start a business or you want to start a relationship, you might have slight delays. But both of these cards are exceedingly positive cards. So, even in the reverse position, it's not a negative thing. The Ace of Cups in reversed asks you to purge your emotions. If you are holding on to things that have been bothering you and that you have them all pent up. Now, it could also mean that you are too emotionally available right away and that you have to pull back. Maybe you are codependent with somebody and you have your feelings enmeshed with theirs, and this is totally common, I would think, for a Pisces person. So you do have to pull back, you do have to stay more detached, and that this is what that card advises. And the accompanying card of the Ace of Pentacles is really about making sure that everything is together financially before you launch a business or things of that nature, because aces represent beginnings and launchings and things of that nature. And you may be having all these ideas, but they may not be totally sound. And remember that we have this Mercury retrograde that's ending on the 9th, and we also are going to have a bit of a shadow period afterwards. So unless this is something that is very, very time sensitive, you might not even want to do it right now. Maybe you're trying to push it too quickly and you're kind of being haphazard. And this card is just reminding you to be as on point as possible. The outcome card is the Queen of Cups in reverse. And this, is another Cups card. It advises you to watch out for that tendency towards codependency and being delusional in your thinking, not being clear headed, being more fantasy prone. Also, watching out for addiction in yourself. If you have a tendency when the going gets tough to reach for the bottle, reach for whatever, is to make sure that you do not do that. Because I think that a lot of success is just avoidance of the pitfalls. More than, it's more of what you don't do than what you do. I believe the number one thing that tends to trip up Pisces people is their emotional nature. And that causes some of them to try to drown their sorrows or to lose themselves in another person and forget about their own dreams. And that's one of the dangers of codependency, is that you don't do what you want to do. You're so busy trying to save somebody else or trying to clean up their messes that you don't take care of your own garden and manifest your own. So I hope you got something from this, Pisces, and I wish you a wonderful October. Take care now. Bye.